Hello to everyone. Now I hope you hear my sound. And hello from sunny Istanbul. I'm currently here, and we start our stream regarding the curation concept of our course, and also some small question and answer sessions. Also, I plan to answer some questions I've seen in the course chat since the start of the course. So first, I want to present our idea about how we should learn during the course. So first, we need to understand that actually Hou2Touch is quite long and intense course, and since I started to make this course, the course changed a lot of times, and we also learning how to learn how to teach this course because of feedback of different groups and what we found on the current moment. So it's like our collaboration between student and us as a team. First, a long time ago, we were seeing this course like a direct way which every student should go through. Now we realize that it's actually almost impossible because of amount of the lessons and because everyone is quite busy. So students have their own problems, work, study in different universities in parallel, etc., etc. And currently, course contains 114 hours of lessons, and that lessons almost doesn't contain water, so it's just an information in very packed way. So now we see this course more or less like a database. So basically, from my point of view, if you have time and enough of motivation to go full program through, as a result, you will receive a new profession, which is like commandos of media art and technology. So it will be like a special unit which is prepared to do any kind of work, doesn't matter if it's motion design, computer graphics, real-time animation, sound design, etc. But logically, not every one of you needs that. Also, several people who join the course have, for example, enough experience in Houdini or in TouchDesigner, so they don't need to follow all the lessons. However, I designed the program like a storyline, and I tried to find the order of the lessons in that way that you keep more motivation and understanding of different topics in the order they sorted right now. But basically, in the current structure of a program, I think most important part of the course is the first 10 lessons, where you mostly learn the basics of user interface for both Houdini and TouchDesigner, workflow between them, understanding of different data types, and different type of works, including compositing, including animation, and including very complex concept of geometry in both programs. After that, actually, you can more or less choose that lessons you need for your current needs. You still have the access to the course, so you can decide in which order to look the lessons, and you are free to learn how you want. Anyway, this course is very long, so it's especially in online education, it's very complex to keep the motivation running. So basically, I would say the chat, or the group chat of our course, is the same important part of education like the course itself. So I show now the chat So we have several departments in this chat. We have a technical issues department where you can ask about some technical problems with learning management system we have, and etc. Then second most important thing in the education actually is the questions. So please don't hesitate to ask questions. There are no stupid questions. All questions are good. Sometimes you can even think that people, other students might be shy to ask some questions, and if you ask that questions, you can help also other people. So that is very important. So we have a special department also for questions. However, you can we also use that department also to gather questions to prepare for the live sessions. Then also one of the most important parts of the course is the homework. Also during last 3 years of doing this course, actually already 4 years since we started, we found we researched different approaches how to make the homeworks and how should we accept these homeworks. So we went away from the concept of the stop lessons, where you needed to make all homeworks until that lesson in order to continue the course. So now we have most democratic approach, how to say, and for the homeworks we found that most easy going way for every one of us, for you as students and for us as teachers and curators, is that you just render a small segment of animation. For some of lessons maybe it could be just a screenshot, but for most of lessons it can be animation. And just upload the video. So our target for result of the course is to make a kind of a student portfolio. So you can on the end of the course just gather all videos you uploaded together, cut it, and you have a very cool portfolio. And we also have a portfolio because we need a student's portfolio to showcase our approach to learn to other people. So, and also even without going into the project itself, in most of cases, just looking into this video or even screenshot, we can give some advices and curate the direction of work. And only if it's really needed, we can also give a feedback for the project itself. But in most of cases, the topics explained in the videos of the course quite well, so it's not actually needed to go inside of the project itself. Okay, that is about the homework. So basically I would shortly repeat: ask questions and do homeworks. Also, what we have as assignments inside of our learning management system is not the precise directive how to make this work. It's a topic, what it's about. So basically, most of cases it can be some creative work about the topic of a lesson. So you can or better repeat some part of a complex technical question which was inside of the lesson, and you can artistically you can do it on your own way. It's better than do it like precisely on the task. But if you don't have particularly idea about some artistic approach about this lesson, you can just repeat the lesson itself. It's also a possibility for you. So for us it's most important that you do nice artistic work. We don't limit you in artistical way, we just give a feedback about what can be done better and go in technical details if it's needed. So I see also a good question in the chat. if we update the course with new versions of software. That is a big work. Sometimes we don't, we might not remember that sometimes need to be updated, but basically that course is kind of a live, living structure. So I will re-record some parts. Maybe some of the parts which needed to be recorded, I will do during the live sessions. So we don't have so much of live sessions during the course, but in last reduction of our concept of teaching, we decided to make 2 live sessions per month. One session is about feedback of your homework and just communication, and another one is can be something like a new lesson. So I think we will use this possibility to add some new topics to the course or update some obsolete parts which are changed in the software. So for example, I know that in first part of the course I need to record some new lesson about mountain operator, which is like left there from the 18th version of Houdini, something like that. Okay. Also, if you see and find some old, not up-to-date videos during the course, also please post it to the chat so we can keep on track. So we have several people working with me on this course, and they will help me structure the amount of tasks for me, because I still recording some lessons for the last part of the course for Unreal, and I will also have a list of tasks for updating several videos during the course. Yeah, I would say the goal is to follow the instruction, but in most creative way. It's a good expression of how we see that. We don't limit your creative part. We just try to bring the technical understanding of stuff. And yeah, most important is communication. So also, I would say during my experience to teach, and I teach online since 2008, where I discovered that it's a quite cool way to make workshops. I seen a lot of situations there. My students, even from different countries, started to collaborate and help each other and build creative groups. So it also makes me completely happy. So, and the key for that is the communication. That's why we have the chat, and that's actually what is differs the curatorial version of the course from the self-paced. Is the course repeatable? I not completely got what you mean, Claudio, about if the course is repeatable. With Unreal, I made a list of topics for me what I want to make about the Unreal, and it will cover. So I recorded several lessons already, and I do now the research for some of them, because I don't want to make the flat lessons on the surface. I really want to make it very deep. And in order to make this, I need to get more understanding of working with blueprints. So there I stuck a bit. But I already covered several topics about the integration of different technologies between Houdini and Unreal, like smoke simulations, like FBX and VAT exporting. now I do the lesson about the working with Houdini digital assets inside of Houdini, showcasing the working with assets of the building generators. And then I will do also some lessons about the TouchDesigner integration. So for Unreal, okay, my long time idea about this course was that Unreal is kind of the on the top of a mountain. It's like you can use Houdini for generation of the complex geometries. You can use TouchDesigner for the integration of everything, for integration with sensors, with web APIs, for easygoing programming, and Unreal for the real-time visualization. Because logically it's quite complex to achieve the super photorealistic visualization inside of TouchDesigner. It's possible somehow, but not on that level it's possible in Unreal. So I wanted to bring Unreal into production. Yeah, okay, for Houdini, basically we don't need to render everything in Houdini. Yeah, that's also why I wanted to bring real-time visualization in TouchDesigner and Unreal. However, I would say Unreal is even heavier than Houdini for hardware requirements. So for me, I was working with my old Windows laptop quite easy with Houdini until I started really research Unreal, and I needed to buy the desktop machine. Okay, I see the lesson about the Arduino. We don't have yet the parts about Arduino in the course. Maybe we might suggesting to add it later. So for now we don't have it listed in the program of the course. However, it's not that complicated. Basically, in TouchDesigner you have Fermata, and you can do whatever you want with Fermata. So just drop Fermata here, connect Arduino, and you can interact between Arduino and TouchDesigner very easy. The question about the science of programming. Okay, first what I want to tell that TouchDesigner and Houdini are the environments for visual programming. It's not code-based programming, it's visual programming, but it's still programming. What programming mean for me? For me, it's mean just you can do logical structures in your head, because all programming about algorithms, and algorithms is just a logic. It's just consequences of actions expressed on the logical way using several logical constructions like loops, like conditional statements, and like functions. And TouchDesigner itself is also programming environment. And you can do everything visually, but on some moment you will stuck. You will stuck for performance issues, you will stuck for complexity issues, and you will need to learn programming anyway. That's why in Hou2Touch we have a bunch of lessons covering the most important languages for us, like Python, especially for TouchDesigner. However, there are some lessons about Python and Houdini as well. We have lessons about Vex, which is a shader and geometry programming language in Houdini, and we have a bunch of lessons about GLSL. I think that's a must, but don't have fear for that, because myself, I never got the mathematical or physical education, so I'm artist. I got just art school, and just because I have a bunch of logic in my head, I could learn programming. And basically, after I understood the logic of programming, I can program on any language, because it's just like learning other human language. Even in the program of the course, we have a lesson where I need to find it for a moment, where we have where I explain what kind of languages we have in Houdini and TouchDesigner and why. That is a very good starting point, basically, to understand why we might need to learn programming languages and what kind of languages we have. I will shortly check if it's inside. Так, этого, кстати, урока-то и нет там. Okay, we have here several basic lessons in introduction to the course, and here I done just a basic introduction to any kind of programming language. Then also, if you have access to the course, please check that you have the instruction how to learn, where our team gathered the most important topics, how to keep your motivation and work with our course. So that is available for everyone who is inside of the course. Okay, I go back to YouTube. Okay, I'm not against any help, so if you want to help, you can access my, please write me on Telegram and we can chat. So I will post my Telegram profile in the chat. So my lessons stopped at week 10. If I complete all the lessons assignment, will the other week please tell me what in which group you are, because now we don't have any locked lessons. Смотри, там чувак пишет. USD workflow is on my list. I didn't manage yet to make so much about it, so we have some lessons about Houdini Solaris, which is based on USD. That is to find in I think in rendering in Houdini in 16th lesson. We have some Solaris topics here, or should have. Кстати, да, надо проверить программу курса. У нас там, может быть, каких-то уроков нет.
Короче, Hou2Touch, скажи ему, что он из старых курсов. Мы можем ему предложить перевестись в новый поток.
Okay, so one important announcement. If you are on the old group of Hou2Touch Curatorial course, please message us to be in the new group, because currently we decided it's impossible to support all the old groups. So we changed the way how we work to have one big group containing all the students from the curatorial course, and then we can care about every student inside of this group. Because if you are in the old group, we have now something like 8 or 10 different chats from different groups from the different time, and it's quite complex task to keep track on all of these groups. So we decided to move all students who are still teaching into new group. So please keep in touch with us to be invited to the new group. That is, and then you will be also moved in the learning management system to the new course inside of our website, where we don't have any stop lessons.
Я в Телеграме тебе написал. Можешь прямо сейчас рассказать про это.
Сейчас. So basically, I will make a kind of conclusion that most important, you can take from our course what you need. So we provided enough of information to make your life better, to make your professional and artistic experience better, but we don't press you to follow all the course. We don't press you to make all the homeworks. It's just your decision and your choice what you want to take from this course. So please do whatever you want, and more much you take, more much you have. So what I wanted to show for, okay, I see some questions. Regarding the lifetime access, we're still thinking. So we provide, I think for now, 2 years of access to the course, but lifetime is quite complex thing in current times. I don't know if in 2 years will be internet or it will be like a global war. I don't know. So, but we are on the contact. So anyway, we decided now for providing 2 years of access for the course, and if you want to keep it more, just message to us. We are here. I'm interested in overlap of scientific simulations and art. I'm wondering if a module describes a pipeline for this. Would GLSL be appropriate context? I think GLSL is anyway important, because only using GLSL you can simulate a lot of stuff in real time. Also, I suppose it's if you use some kind of API for getting the scientific data. We have lessons about working with web APIs and JSON format that might help you. In in case you don't find something covering particularly your case, I also very open to chat with you, so maybe we can develop something very interesting about scientific simulations.
Стивен Видик задал вопрос про доступ.
А я уже ответил.
Да.
Okay, so that was it was several questions in our chat before this day since the last course started, so I wanted to make some part covering and answering these questions. One question what I've seen was about how to render movie inside of TouchDesigner, and basically I will keep some window floating window. Okay, so we have two choices to export and render movie in TouchDesigner. One way what you can do is to use the command export movie. This command, which is to find in the file menu, will open the window where you can bring some, so let me make some, I don't know, some small animation like noise. Let me make this noise something like Full HD. And let me bring some other noise. And connect it here. So we have something nice. And let me just make the animation of transform. Me dot time dot seconds multiplied by 0.1. So, for example, I want to render this movie. Let's imagine this movie can also have some sound. So I will just load the default audio here, audio file in, and I want to render this movie onto hard drive. So I can drop this movie here, I can drop audio here, and I have several settings in this floating window where I can define the codec to render. So you can use a bunch of codecs, including the NVIDIA codecs.
Пошарь скрин.
А я шарю скрин?
Не, только
okay. Sorry. I thought it's shared. Okay, so I just created the two noise operators and made some slow animation, link to timeline, and some audio stream. So, and using the export movie, which is to find in file export movie, I can export this to hard drive. And here I can set up the codecs and time frame for simulation, audio bitrate. I can even include movie and timeline timecode if I need. And just clicking on the start, I can render it to hard drive. Voila, it's done. Second choice how we can export movie to the hard drive is to use the movie file out. Movie file out. What is the difference? Basically, using movie file out, you have access to huge amount of settings which are not available in this window. And second thing, by default, your TouchDesigner project is running in real-time mode. What does it mean? That means it's try to keep the frame rate for display synchronization with 60 frames per second. If your project is heavier and is not able to render 60 frames or 30 frames, if you set it, for example, for rendering for 30 frames per second, then it will have the floating FPS, which will not give you the possibility to synchronize frame-wise with a soundtrack, for example. So if you are not rendering the real-time output, so if you have a static animation linked to timeline, which can be used, for example, for video compositing work, or for example, if you use TouchDesigner for video process videos for, let's say, music video, what I personally do a lot, then you need to bring your project into non-real-time mode. In that case, you can be sure that TouchDesigner will render every frame and keep static 30 FPS, frames per second. Doesn't matter how fast your project is. If you will take a look, and I will click now to render again, to render this export movie again, this window has built-in function which automatically disable real-time mode for the time of rendering, and then after rendering is finished, it will enable the real-time mode again. So what you can do to automate this task, because it's quite so how you can do this? First, you can just go to the first frame and disable real-time mode, disable loop playback, enable once playback, enable record, and then playback. That will play back once and stop by the end of timeline. So now it's stopped. Now you can disable record, enable real-time playback again, and disable enable loop range. That's if you want to make this easygoing without any coding and complex technical setups. But if you want to make it more advanced, you can use something like, for example, timeline chop will return.
Screen freeze. Screen is freezed.
For the screen freeze, I don't know what I can do. Just I think Okay, I'm recording. In worst case, I can repeat this recording again, but for now, I think it's a problem with the video stream. Okay, I think I will just upload the recording of what I was telling now, because I don't know how to change the frozen screen. Okay, I can. Okay, next question. Okay, I think I will upload this lesson just additionally. Pro lesson of TouchDesigner? Basically, no. I would say only case where you really might need the pro license of TouchDesigner is if you developing applications for the clients, because most important difference of pro license is support of licensing of your projects. Licensing of your projects. And also in our course we have the lesson about that, where I show how to make your project locked by the pro license. Any other questions?
What's about student licenses?
So also, if you have an interest about the basically about the topic of licenses, I would say for learning with this course, I would say that important to have something like any kind of commercial license of Houdini, because Houdini apprentices are very limited, especially in topics of exporting data which we need to send to TouchDesigner. And we have an agreement with SideFX for educational licenses, which are quite cool. It's $75 per year. So everyone who bought the Curatorial course of Hou2Touch can get the educational license of Houdini. Derivative currently changed the approach to work with school like us, and they offering interesting offer, I would say. If you got the full course, you can get the commercial license with $200 discount, so for $400, which I think is a quite good offer. However, for most topics of the course, you can use free license, non-commercial license of TouchDesigner. Also very good topic I seen in the chat currently, which is about what job roles you see for people taking the course. Like I said before, I see my students as a commanders. That's mean I bring enough knowledge about the traditional motion design and film production workflow. So I would not say this course is enough to straightforward go to the Hollywood production, but you can really start making computer graphic works on the proper level, do advertisement, do 3D modeling, work maybe in junior positions in game dev, but also I bring enough knowledge for making engineer work for event business, like making media servers and event systems, to work as an audio-visual performer and installation artist, because we cover all the topics regarding working with depth sensors, analyzing, working with audio, working with Ableton and Bitwig, working with sound design in the last part of the course, working with a web API and interactive installations, working with 3D user interfaces. What data do you send from Houdini to TouchDesigner, and what Houdini things work better with TouchDesigner? So basically, what I also try to achieve during the course, to understand and have a kind of critical mind about what data to send from Houdini to TouchDesigner, because in some parts you just can send FBX or Alembic. In some parts I would say better to send just a point data with proper attribute, geometrical attributes, and send the geometrical pieces as a static frame geometry, and then use them together. In some cases we can use the textures to animate complex geometries, because there are completely different approaches how to optimize geometry for the real-time usage, and because of that there are no special one-way solution. So Alembic is basically supporting everything, but it can be super heavy. Also it matters if you use Alembic with direct load to graphic card or indirect load, if you need this geometry in the sub-context of TouchDesigner. Also that depends how deep you are into working with GLSL, because a lot of things you can do in GLSL and optimize that things. Also we have lessons about the exporting of animation data between TouchDesigner and Houdini, which can be also quite helpful. So for example, you can do the geometric simulation and export that simulation as a FBX with geometrical pieces, and export the animation data for the transformation of simulated pieces, for example. And yeah, that's why we need unlocked Houdini, because in Apprentice we only can export very limited data formats, which only gives the possibility to use the geometrical sequences, which is most heaviest way. Unreal use different language, yeah, but we don't go that deep with Unreal yet. But basically, if you understand how GLSL works, you can translate anything between HLSL and GLSL quite well. Any other questions? Okay, I don't see so much questions anymore. What do I think about Notch? Fairly to say, I never used Notch. I've seen some presentations, but I think Notch is just too expensive. And basically it's just replace the price of learning GLSL by the price of the software, for my opinion. So you can spend the same money or time needed to earn this money to learn GLSL, then you will not need Notch anymore. That's also the good question. Do you recommend any resources for studying vocabulary, history, and theory beyond Google Wiki? That is still in our plan. So we plan to add more topics about the art and concepts itself than just about the technical things. But currently we are in the search for proper people because I cannot do everything myself. So for now I just try to refer to what I can do, and actually soon I think we will also start collaborating with Dmitry Vtol, who is super known media artist who can tell a lot about the artistical concepts. I hope that will happen, and then we will announce it. So we will have more teachers than me. Yeah, as I said, I open to any collaboration. So if someone can help me, always write. I just want to make a cool community of media artists. So my most important task for this school, not to make the school about TouchDesigner or Houdini. It's more about to build a community and help media artists to have more success. Okay. Let's wait for some more questions, and basically we are done for today. I see the question about the real-world client applications. Yeah, ask questions. I can answer that in the live sessions. So basically, I showcase during the course several of my real life projects, but I can do it more just answering your questions during the course. Regarding the math, I don't use so much of math. I think most important things is the vector operations. I think I have somewhere the small lesson about the matrices, but basically I try to explain everything on more artistic way. So most important things to understand the vector mathematics, which is just about the vectors, because most of things you can do with vectors. Okay, thank you everyone for being with us today. We are open to contact. If you are inside of course already, I wish you motivation. If you are not in the course, we wish you motivation as well and the success in our crazy world to make more cool, impressive art and stay motivated, safe and healthy. Okay, OGD camera, I still not really managed to dive into it myself, but I think I plan to add some lessons about of using of pose estimation to our course, because I think the futures anyway in AI and in using the pose estimation models. So basically Kinect is cool, but most cool in Kinect has a camera which can see in darkness. I think this is the most important feature. Anything else you can do on processing webcam video. I just smoked one cigarette during an hour. I think it's not so bad. Okay, so thank you for everyone again and keep in touch.